Two things are going to come out of this podcast. One, we're going to be canceled, and two, we're probably going to get divorced from our wives.
So fucking inappropriate. So fucking inappropriate.
It's like crying, just jerking it on empty horn. What the fuck? Jerking it on empty horn. Jerking it on empty horn.
So fucking inappropriate.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time again for that top 10 list you don't give a fuck about by two guys you really don't give a fuck about.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Inappropriates with Matthew and Nate. We also have a special guest again. She's here one more time.
Hi.
Starts out so timid and doesn't end so furiously.
What do you want me to say?
She's like the proverbial month of March, in like a lamb, out like a lion.
We're going to keep our phone like in our pocket or something, right? That's what we're going to do this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about last time.
All right.
Crazy.
So this episode, however, I've got something new I want to mention. I've reached out to some of the sponsors, and we now have a promo code with our sponsors. So you have to throw in 10% off if you use promo code TIP.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But today's sponsor, you know Indeed.com, but do you know Indon't?
I am not familiar overly with Indon't.
There's a job site where you find people who don't want to work. So take it away.
All right, folks, let me grab my script here. Today's sponsor is brought to you by Don't. Do you just need a body count at your workforce? Let me tell you something, folks. We have people who have no desire to work but still expect a paycheck. In this day and age, those are in plenty of demand right now. And if you have like an anonymous job such as hiding in the corner or staying in the bathroom for 45 minutes at a time or needing to take that 15-minute break every 15 minutes, we have the employees you're looking for. Log on to Don't and find the employee you wish you never hired today. And if you enter our promo code TIP, we'll give you less than 10% of the person you thought you were getting. That's right. Use the promo code TIP and get your bad employee today.
A lot of those employees are going to come from where we work, apparently. All right. Today's episode, brought to you by Don't. Top 10 things we experienced as kids that our kids and future generations never will. Mm-hmm. Correct? That was
things we experienced as a child that none of the kids, our kids or any of their kids, will ever have the pleasure of experiencing or displeasure of experiencing.
Right. Because I had to come to you and had to ask to verify, is this stuff that we enjoyed or is it just stuff that we experienced, not necessarily something that we really
things
liked?
That would just probably never happen in today's society at all.
So as I was making my list, I was like, oh, this is a lot of stuff that it's mostly electronic stuff. I think the beginning of my early life, your life probably, more electronic stuff kind of started coming into play. Mm-hmm. So as I was doing that, I was like, I wonder what my mom's list would look like. So I reached out to her, and she sent me a handwritten list that I have pictures of my phone to incorporate in our list. So there's kind of going to be 4 lists going today. Oh, no, she doesn't have a list. Your daughter.
No.
She's just kind of going to react.
She's not necessarily in an area where she could put input on that, I don't think.
Okay, so we'll have 3 lists. One is from my mom. And
another triple lister.
Our 2. So,
a menage a trois of lists.
I'll start off with my mom's, then you can give your number 10, and then I'll go to mine.
All right.
Okay. She also sent this to me like backwards. So if they're out of order, I'm sorry, Mom, but
we'll get them on there.
Yeah. I'm going to read it verbatim. That's what I'm going to do. I think that's the best thing to do. First thing that comes to mind is riding in the back of trucks. My dad always had trucks of all kinds. Everywhere we went, we rode in the back. He owned a dump truck, and I would ride standing up in the back. He had a side job mowing fields. Mowing fields for people. I remember riding on his bush hog field to field. So riding in the back of trucks. I can remember doing that, but not very much, and it is very frowned upon now. But I mean,
I think it's illegal now, isn't it?
yeah.
Like, but I remember doing that too.
Not, I don't think as much as she did. Like, it sounds
Yeah.
like she was always in the
Pretty
back of a
commonplace
truck.
at that point, yeah.
So yeah, and now I don't think. Have you ever seen anybody riding in the back of a truck going down the highway?
Not the highway, but I saw someone riding in the back of someone's truck going to Casey's.
What is Casey's?
It's a gas station.
Oh, okay. Is this out in the country?
No, it's
Nope.
right in town.
Oh, okay. Well, Mom, I guess that still happens, but fair enough.
Excruciatingly rare.
Which is really funny because that person drove right past the driver instructor and whatever teacher driver.
Well, they don't
teacher.
really have the authority to pull them over or do anything like that.
No, but they can be like, "Hey, that's illegal. You know that, right?"
They just hold their hand out the window and go like this with the siren. Like this.
Pull over.
So my moms would be riding in the back of trucks.
Get that little bell out the side, like ching 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 ching.
That's probably more like it.
Pull over. I'm gonna hit the brake on my side of the car if you don't. Like, all right.
What is your number 10, Matthew?
So, my number 10 of things that kids today will not experience due to the fact that these were taken off the market and considered highly dangerous, and you're not allowed to buy them anymore. You might find a set in your grandma or great grandma's garage somewhere, but as a kid, they will never know the joy/fear of dodging a lawn dart. And if anybody remembers lawn darts, it was kind of a variation of horseshoes in a way, if anybody remembers the game of horseshoes. But this was a metal spike that had plastic arrow fletching on it. And these things weighed probably 2 pounds apiece. And these things, you could throw them quite a far distance if you put some effort behind that. And, it always started out as you had 2 rings and you tried to, drop the darts in the rings, which when the kids played and there wasn't a lot of parents around, turned into throw it as high as possible and see what it doesn't hit, or how far into the ground you could get it buried. But, as the height increases and the earth spins and kids stare at the sun too long, you don't really always see that dart coming back down at you. And I mean, these darts were so deadly. You could go deer hunting with these darts if you really wanted to type scenario. But I do know for a fact they were pulled off the market. They did get reproduced later and they were completely 100% plastic. Doll would not stick in the ground or anything else. But I am talking about the actual metal spikes of flying death,
Killing weapons. Yeah.
long darts, where you just didn't really want 100% sure where that was coming down, and until you didn't know the fear of that thing dropping like 6 inches from your foot and you not realizing till you heard a thunk. And this was stuff we did on the weekend basis,
What is it called? Natural selection? I think that was.
Yeah, we tested that natural selection theory. I don't know how many times growing up. It was, or what I would call, survival of the fittest at that point, or the luckiest in some cases.
I feel like you've talked about lawn darts on a previous podcast.
Possibly.
I never had lawn darts. Never played with them, but I am familiar with them.
I know my kids have never had lawn darts.
Now I think they have lawn darts, but they're foam or have a sticky thing on the end of it or something.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Well, while I never had them, I probably saw an ad for lawn darts when watching this little small square box. I believe Dialogue, maybe it was a
Analog?
Analog, yeah, maybe it was
Analog.
Analog, black and white television.
Oh yeah, yep.
Now there's some things now that they intentionally make black and white. But back then, before color, before Technicolor, whatever company it was, everything was black and white on television.
Mm-hmm.
It was fuzzy also. And I remember very, very young that there was a black and white television that I had.
And there was a lot of like TV shows that ended up going from black and white into color because they were in that transitional era of TV. Like one of the big ones that come to mind is the Andy Griffith Show. A lot of the earlier seasons of the Andy Griffith Show was all black and white. And that's because that's the only way they filmed it. And, it was a big thing when that came on. It was like presented in Technicolor, type deal. Which was a cool passing of the technological advances of the time, Yeah. And especially if you knew someone they got a color TV, because your black and white TV only did black and white because that's all they filmed in. You had to go get a whole new TV if you wanted that experience.
Right.
You know, now it's just what's the resolution quality of your TV?
What would you do if the only thing you could watch television on and it was black and white?
Read a book.
We might need to bring fucking black and white televisions back then.
She's like, I'll just stare at something else in black and white.
Well, I've been like,
That could be good for our fucking
oh my gosh.
our people.
These kids, my kids read.
Ever since school,
No.
like over the summer, I started picking up reading again, but then I like dropped it. And then once I went back to school, I picked up a book and I would not set it down
Yeah. What
unless
book?
the teachers are talking. There's like, I'm just like,
Well, that's
What book did you read?
I don't want to put the book down. The book I'm currently reading is The Off Limits Rule by Sarah Adams.
Okay.
Well, I read The Temporary Roomie first, and that was the second book, and I didn't realize it was the second book. But it's fine because you can technically read them out of order because it's just a love story between Lucy and Cooper and the Off Limits Rule, and then Drew, and I'm just going to shut up now.
Maybe we should stick to black and white TV.
well, good parenting, Matthew. Because
Well-
the only thing my kids read are their chat in Roblox. So
That's true. I read that too, but I looked it up, and her romance books are not like Chloe's romance books. It's literally little to nothing to mid. Trust.
Okay.
Trust.
trust.
You can read it if you want to. I don't care. Just don't spoil anything
I
for
did
me.
an audio book of one of your sister's books, and I still regret that to this day. Like,
Because freaking stuff is getting interesting because finally there's like, oh, I guess I kind of like them. Oh, yeah. But like, I just got to be friends with them for right now. It's like, that's relatable.
things that my
So
daughters are
relatable.
experiencing that I never will.
There you go.
Well,
I remember reading like the Hardy Boys,
Goosebumps. For me.
and yeah, I remember I was never allowed to read Goosebumps.
The Diary of the Wimpy Kid.
I remember. No, that was way past our time.
Oh. Darn.
There was Hardy Boys, Boxcar Children.
Babysitter's Club.
Yeah, Babysitter's Club. for
I never read
girls.
it, but-
yeah. And of
There's
course,
like
throwback to Twisted Metal there
Yeah.
too.
1,800 books.
I mean, there was so many freaking like, you know, the library was a fun place to go, a destinational place to go, and that was before they had the video games, the DVDs, the VHSs, and all that other stuff. You know, you always had, you know, it was just books, and you could sit there and read a book for 10 hours if you wanted. No one cared, you know, type scenario. But yeah, there's you know, like I said, dodging the lawn darts and you know, riding in the back of trucks. It's kind of an era that's really gone by, you know, as far as the commonplace and the ability to, you know, jump in and do that. You know, kind of like the black and white TV. It's more nostalgia and memory now.
Yeah. As is my mom's number 2 on her list, or number 9, however you want to say
Number
it.
9.
Says, "This is crazy. We had a smoking area at our school."
Well, I think more
What?
or less for the teachers,
No, she's referring to
the students.
the students, I think.
Oh wow. Now see, I remember
Probably not elementary.
I remember being able to take a note to a convenience store and getting a pack of cigarettes for an adult. That, as long as you had a note and money,
That's crazy.
they sold you a pack of cigarettes.
Definitely can't do that now.
No, you can't do that now. I mean, like, never like, that's insane. Why would you? I mean, you know, but I remember that being a thing.
Well,
Wow, remember smoking sections in restaurants?
yeah, that's a bygone thing too.
That is,
Thank God.
you know, that was a whole. You go into a restaurant and like the back corner, like 8 tables were for the smokers and everybody.
But even
and,
in
you
the
know.
front, you still smelled smoke.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the ventilation wasn't great at that point in time, but and then do you remember? Here's something that even disappeared from airports. Do you remember the smoker boxes at airports?
I never really paid attention, so no.
There
But-
used to be enclosed like plastic boxes, like a fucking smoker
Oh,
aquarium.
Yeah.
And there was like 3
vaguely
pipes that
remember
went out the top that would just continually suck. You just saw smoke flying out the top of that thing. And the only place I ever remember seeing one in the last decade was there was still the airport in Las Vegas still had a few where you could go in and smoke your cigarette in there and you know, it would just, you know, there was constantly a massive updraft in those rooms.
So I only ever smoke when I'm on fire. So
Well, you know.
Nice. One of my Lebanon friends, before she came to Carlisle, you know her dad, but she said, I'm not dissing on Lebanon or anything, but she said that there's vapes in the ceiling at Lebanon schools. That all the girls they put all their vapes in the ceiling, and there's like, yeah, we go to the bathroom, we go smoke there every single day because we put them in the ceiling. And then Ella, like, one of her friends apparently like went to go get their vape or something, and then she stopped being friends with her after she realized that that friend vapes, and then she just saw like hundreds of freaking vapes up there. That's what she told me. And I was like, yo.
It doesn't seem like a qualification to not be friends with somebody, but okay.
Well, I don't know.
they're doing wrong. I think it is.
But here's the thing. Vapes in the ceiling at Lebanon?
That's the smoking section
people
for
will-
school now.
People will hide stuff everywhere.
All right.
Like,
Oh, so it's me now. That's right.
I'm saying now clarify that. I don't think you should participate in it, but I don't think that's a qualification for not being friends with somebody.
I don't know.
So
I'm telling
But
you.
what if they do other bad things? They do one bad thing, they might do other bad things.
Because, I don't know. She could have done other bad things, too. That's why she didn't be her friend anymore.
I'm just really against smoking, sorry.
But I'm just telling
I'm a
you. she
hater.
told me. I don't know. I don't know her Lebanon friends. I only know 2 Lebanon people in my life. And I only like
do
one
know,
of them.
I do know when I vape, I tend to go shoot heroin up as soon as I'm done. So
What is that?
I wasn't even referring to drugs, but
and then I rob a bank.
there we go.
Dad.
That's more what I was talking about. All right.
Give me $10.
No.
Oh, man.
So my number 9 for
That's
my
all I
mom
want from the robbery.
was smoking section in school.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we got off on that
That's
little
crazy.
tangent. Mine is back to televisions, and that would be bunny ears for reception. We have
Oh yeah, well the youngest kid had to be the antenna.
also
right?
mentioned that. Yeah, we mentioned that
Mhm.
on the podcast that you were on because we said you would probably be the one to hold them up because you're the youngest. So
The reception you could get with rolled up aluminum foil and the right angle, right?
and if you touch something else electronic while touching, I don't know.
I'm
lot of
going to
different-
get electrocuted.
A lot of different ideas of how to get the best reception on your black and white television. I think at that point they were color. So
Yeah, but they had the 2 great big long stems that came out the top that you could kind of go back and forth with. That I think was more or less for to give you hope more than it actually brought in good reception.
and if you were a step up in your class, like you had a dial attached to the bunny ears. Did you ever see those?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You're like,
Only the rich
Only
people had those.
yeah, no, that was people with money, man. That was people who had more money than common sense, as we would say back then. What do you mean you spent the extra $15 on the dial version? Like, of course, back then, the extra $15 that was actually quite a bit, for anything. Just because with inflation today, if you're like, well, $15, I can eat that at Taco Bell. Well, yeah, but I could eat the same thing at Taco Bell in my day for $2.50 that you're paying $15 for now.
Could you imagine having to go to your 75-inch flat screen LED television and move
Move bunny ears.
nonsense?
So number 9, right?
Yeah, that was number 9.
All right, my number 9 for me was a classic prank that kids would play on other kids that you don't really see much of now. And I think I even mentioned this to you one time, and you were like, what the hell is that? So apparently you were not one of the kids this prank ever got played on. But it involved a flashlight, a pillowcase, and a stick. And it always happened at night. And that was when you would convince either a younger sibling or you would get together to convince someone else's younger sibling that you all were about to go out and hunt the rare, elusive snipe bird that only came out at night and it was a flightless bird, but you would have to smack bushes and then catch it in the pillowcase. And you could be out there literally for hours watching the sibling just smack random bushes in the neighborhood and, oh, it ran off over there. Did you see it? Did you see it? Just like, It's a good old-fashioned snipe hunt because we didn't have the internet and we didn't have any of this other stuff. So we would catch gullible kids and run them all over the neighborhood on a snipe hunt, just laughing our tail off.
You did not mention that to me.
No?
That's the first I've heard of this, but I never.
You never?
Yeah.
Maybe it was Jay then.
Maybe.
But, you know.
But that's pretty funny.
But yeah, it was the classic snipe hunt, and we always it's a little bird. Like little fact later, there is a small bird called a snipe that is native to Australia. Oh. Obviously, of course, it's native to Australia, and it's a protected bird, so you can't hunt them. But here in the United States, it doesn't matter because you always came home with an empty pillowcase, you know.
So, whenever you said a pillowcase, a flashlight, and a stick, and a younger sibling, I had a feeling it was going to take place in the middle of the night or somewhere in there. And, like, the group of friends, they're like, hey, let's go play, like, hide and seek. Or, like, and then you're like, that's what I thought at first. And then it's like, oh, and then it's, like, hunting something. I was like, oh, okay. So, like, they're probably just going to, like, pull a random prank on the kid and just put the pillowcase on top of the kid's head and bang, like, not bang the kid, but, like, hit the kid with the stick so many times until like he's bruised all over the place.
Goodness
and then just
gracious.
throw the flashlight at his face whenever you take the thing off. So, and then run away.
And that game no longer exists because
somebody pulled that off apparently.
Put your child in jail.
But that's
no,
what
I mean,
I thought you were gonna say.
It was always bonus points if the kid never caught on and wanted to go out and do it again the next night because they were just convinced they were going to catch one at some point. You know, I mean, you always got bonus points for every night you could keep it going. You know, and then eventually somebody had to break the news, and usually it was that kid's mom getting tired of it happening for long enough. You're like, it's not real, like, you know, Mom, we're on night 7, like, you know, or we all just got bored and didn't feel like going out again, you know, so we just don't. Yeah, it's not a thing, it's, you know. But, you know, the ability to come up with something that elaborate and follow through, and most of the kids in the neighborhood being in on it and being able to, you know, perform that, as, you know, as far as say, you know, kid after kid after kid, it's just, I don't think the imagination's there. I think technology has really tore apart the imagination of some of the kids in our generation.
Now they would
our
take an
day.
iPad out there and try to find it with the iPad, take a picture.
I mean, the only thing I can really tell you is the genius of the
Pokemon
snipe
Go.
hunt. Yes, the genius of the snipe hunt is at this point been evolved into Pokemon Go, right? Because you're out there hunting some shit that don't exist, but digitally you have a catalog of all these snipe that you've caught. Yep. And of course, like, you know, my daughter plays it, and, you know, I play with her here and there. So I'm still on a generationally more advanced snipe hunt at this point, right? So yeah, because, you know, obviously you got to catch them all. You know, so there we go.
All right.
Oh, sorry, 30 seconds. Give me my brain 30 seconds. Dad, remember when I was playing 99 Nights in the Forest and I said I gotta go shove the kid in the sack?
Yeah.
And then I put it in the fire, but you know it didn't die, and I got disappointed because it didn't die. It would have been funny because you can burn the cultists there. You gotta kill them, and then you can burn them. But then you can't burn the little children. Like, why?
Because no one wants to burn children.
So, speaking of Roblox again, my now 13-year-old son has a girlfriend in Africa that he met on Roblox.
Oh, yeah.
That
Speaking about Roblox, they're trying to make it into a dating app.
Well, it apparently already is.
Which is funny because the CEO of Roblox ended up getting freaking banned on Roblox because he has AI doing it all, and he ended up getting banned. And I could be using my mic on Roblox, and I'd be like, flipple frackle crackle barrels, because, you know, random stuff comes out of my mouth, and when I'm trying not to cuss. And I would get banned for saying something like that.
Well, I mean, that can be
Frickle
offensive.
crackle barrels.
Be very offensive in another country.
Well,
you may have
what?
You may have actually.
I could have offended a pigeon.
No, you could have offended the population of Fraggle Rock.
That isn't a place.
Pardon me.
Did you grow up there?
No,
Figured.
but I know a lot of what happened in
Did they go to war?
in the place of Fraggle Rock, and
They probably throw fragile rocks into the water just to see them drown.
essentially they created the Fraggle Stick. and
throw
you
that
sitting
in
there saying "Frickle Frackle Crackle Barrel," which my apologies to the Fraggle Rock Nation,
Frickle,
could have been very
Crackle
offensive to the Frackle Rockians.
They sound like they're all rocks, and they have no life or meaning.
No, they live in a rocky hillside, but they're not.
Is that
They're
where
not- they're not
fracking
rock.
was created?
Frickle, Crackle, Pearls.
Fracking is digging for oil. Maybe.
Yo.
Maybe they found some of that Texas tea down at the bottom of one of those caves.
Back to the list.
Back to the list.
Come on, that was a good tangent.
It
for a
was, it was,
second,
it
but
was.
I'm not-
But let's get back on track here. And that's a good segue because my mom's next one is 8-track. I said back on
Ooh.
track. So 8-track. How do you listen to music?
Headphones.
No shit. Okay, so where does
Music.
that come from? Does it digital,
My phone.
CD,
She
cassette,
streams
My
it.
phone.
vinyl?
My phone.
Your phone. So digital.
My phone.
So you are a digital person.
Oh.
We are now. But how do you remember listening to it as a child?
There was some vinyls that we had growing up, but for the most part, for my era, it was cassette tapes. Most of the vehicles, by the time I remember, a lot of it they were coming with cassette tapes in them, or cassette tape players
Cassette
in them.
players, yeah.
But I remember some of my relatives still had the cars with the 8-track players in them. And they would still, pop that Atari-looking cartridge down inside. That
fat-ass
big,
cartridge.
yeah. And it's like, it's one of those things where, cassette tapes were kind of king for me back in the day, without a doubt. And then, of course, I do remember the compact disc or the CD era coming in. And I also remember if you had a CD player, you had the cassette tape converter that plugged
Yep.
into the
Yep.
headphone jack. That you could leave your what was it called, the Discman that you had sitting on your seat. Hope you didn't hit a bump too hard and cause that CD to skip.
This is all stuff that should be on our list.
Well, possibly.
Okay.
But the thing that kills me the most is what like my daughters. Obviously, in the digital age, you stream. You have all the music you want at your fingertips. Whereas if you had cassette tapes or CDs or even 8-tracks, you were locked into that one artist for 15 songs, and that was on a big album, 15 songs, typically between 8 and 10 songs. And that's all you listen to. Same band sing those 8 songs. And that if you wanted to listen to something else, you had to put a different cassette in. You were on one band locked in at a time,
Or
unless
flip it to the other side also.
when they invented the cassette tape player that would record, and you could buy blank cassettes, and that just runs into a whole nother run.
Yeah.
But at the
where
same
mixing
point in
started.
time, you were locked into one artist at a time. There was no, multiple artists on anything. Like, and like I said, I've seen her switch between 50 different
Yeah, because in my
bands
playlist,
and
there's
genres in
songs
like a
that I don't
10-minute,
listen to.
section, because it's just, how it goes.
Yep. Well,
And it does make it more convenient when it's all digitally logged right there in your hand.
my mother's list, to read it exactly, 8-track tapes. One of my fondest memories with my mom was listening to music with her. 8-tracks were a huge thing. Cruising, sometimes driving as a young child in the Nova, listening to 8-tracks after 8-track. Good
And the old
times.
Novas.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's why I wanted to read that.
The old Novas.
I remember very, very young
Mm-hmm.
seeing an 8-track player in my mom's or my grandma's car or something.
Yep.
But that's about it. I don't.
And that was when, and if you sat in the back seat, the little ashtrays would flip out of the front of the seat, out of the seat in front of you and stuff. Like, and I remember just sitting back here like, just opening and closing that thing as fast as possible, because they had ashtrays in every car,
Yep. Multiple too, not just one. Multiple.
I mean, and the funny part is, I remember going to the gas station with my grandpa, who was smoking a cigarette while putting gas in the car, because back in 1984, apparently gas wasn't flammable, or just no one gave a fuck. But I mean, that was commonplace, And I remember, most of the time he just, flicked that cigarette out the window. Hopefully, you weren't behind him with your window down, and it didn't do that crazy banana curve and come back in and smack you in the face, But it's one of those things of the whole awareness of things has changed so much over the years, right? And it's just, yeah, I mean, little things like that just don't come standard in car. The cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
That little round orange glowing death that would pop out of the center dash, that sometimes the spring was so freaking hard it would shoot it completely out of the dash, and then you're scrambling on the floor to pick up this hot coal of holy shit before you catch the inside of your car on fire, because Grandpa needed to light that next, non-filter Camel. And, a lot of times that cigarette, you'd push that in, then it would pop out, you pull it out, light your cigarette, put it back in. Now it's a auxiliary adapter or something like that, which, it used to be you just pulled the cigarette lighter out and plugged your utility in, at that point. But now they don't put the cigarette lighter part in it where those coils glow. Little things. Yeah. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
No, I just have a question. I wasn't even listening.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not going to listen to the question then.
It was
Proceed.
It was something about like radio, I think.
What about radio?
No, what you were talking about. But instead of doing the first fuck, marry, kill, can I do a hypothetical?
Yes, after we get past 8.
Okay. If you have a hypothetical, we'll go there.
Okay. All right. So my number 8, again, still with the television. Do you ever remember late at night when everybody else is asleep, you're flipping channels, and then you find that channel that's like, I don't know how to describe it, the different colors, and it might be a little fuzzy, but sometimes you can pause it just at the right time, and you see a boob.
Where you analogically semi-tapped into a cable type scenario.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't see the boob, but you can hear the moaning and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is my number 8, the fuzzy screen sex scene.
The very early stage of a boy wondering what it's all about. That because the only other thing you really got to semi pay attention to was the bra section of the JCPenney catalog, because nothing else came through until eventually one day, for a surprise and a promotional thing to every young boy's enjoyment, that first Victoria's Secret catalog showed up at the house, because they sent them to everyone when they opened those stores everywhere.
Sorry, Mom.
It had that beautiful woman on the front with the angel wings, and you were sitting there trying to pronounce lingerie because you didn't care what it was, but damn, she looked fine. And then you tried to steal it every once in a while to take it off somewhere.
Not every once in a while. My mother received a subscription my entire lifehood, she received, I don't know, a subscription, but she probably only seen maybe 3 of those magazines, because the rest of them I confiscated as
the
soon as.
rest of them were under your bed, sticky as shit.
Yep.
Yeah. So my number 8 is something that I remember kind of well. It's something that kids these days will never have the anxiety-inducing wonder of experiencing, and that is really wanting to watch a movie, and for the 20-minute drive, keeping all of your fingers crossed that they still had a copy to rent, right? Like, because, if you didn't go to the theater, you had to go to Blockbuster or Family Video or Hollywood Video or something like that. And they didn't have a finite amount of these movies that you could rent. They had X amount of copies, and if it was a popular movie, there was a shot you weren't watching that movie that night, And so in order to go rent that film, you had to hope and pray they still had a copy left there for you, Otherwise, you were stuck doing the march of, I don't want to watch any of this crap, to get to whatever settlement for family movie night you were going to rent and take home. But, I remember definitely that kind of inducing of, now you just turn on whatever and stream it. Almost everything you've ever wanted's at your fingertips. Yep. And now, back then, you had to hope it was there when you got there. And then when you got back, and you put that VHS into that bulky freaking player and you hit play. This kind of plays into it that kids don't ever see anymore. Do you remember before the movie played, it would have the featured attractions? Mm-hmm. And coming soon to VHS. Yep. And you just kind of kept planning all your movies out based on They actually had trailers before the movie started, and you don't get any of that anymore. You don't get any. There's it was like an event just to take a movie home and watch it. It was an experience all the way around, and it was like, oh, I didn't know this movie was coming out, and this and that, and it was just kind of a really. I mean, you can still go to the theaters, you can still have that movie experience. In fact, I'd say it's probably better now than it was back then, but you don't ever get that. Oh, I want to see this, and I really hope it's there feeling.
Yep.
And even the rental process feeling. So.
Kind of something you said also made me think about this with mine. I would spend hours trying to get that perfect, like, shot or whatever.
Right.
But now you can just take out your phone and type in Pornhub, and the world is at your fingertips. So, all right.
Every dark corner of that world is at your fingertips. What? You're sitting here going, what?
All right, it's time to do a Marry, Fuck, Kill.
I'm just letting you guys
Hypothetically.
talk about random stuff right now.
Do you don't know anything about this, do you?
Well, I know what porn is.
Congratulations.
What's your hypothetical question?
Oh my God.
What did you want me to say?
Well, we're asking for your hypothetical. We have surpassed 8. And you asked if you could do a hypothetical when we came to that spot. So what is your hypothetical question?
I was going to pretend like I didn't hear her, though, because, she didn't listen to you.
Well, I was listening, but my mind went blank half the time.
You're pulling the cord. Don't do that.
Sorry.
All right, what we got?
So hypothetically, if you were put into a random death game or just any game of your choice, how long do you think you'd survive? And it has to be like some sort of death game. It can't just be like Animal Crossing. It was a random game, sorry.
So you can't be an Animal Crossing, man.
We're choosing the game, though?
Yes, you can
as
choose
long
the
as
game.
It's a death game? All right, I'm ready.
It has to be a death game. And how long do you think it would last?
So what I would choose to be in, I don't know if necessarily considered a death game, but I would consider it a death game because there can be only one. And by that I mean I would be in the Highlander universe where there are many Highlanders, but whenever you cross one, you have to fight to the death. And you take the power of the one you killed until there's only one Highlander left. So, I'd give myself about a halfway point run on that, to be honest, before I got taken out. Because my luck, halfway through the whole process, I'd run into Duncan or Connor McLeod, and we all know that they're going to win it anyway. So
I'm a little disappointed. I thought we were going to go with the same game, but we didn't. That's fine. I would be in Twisted Metal, and I would survive until the end, because if there's one thing I am cocky about, it's my driving ability. No one is a better driver than me, and that's what Twisted Metal is about. Out-driving the others. I would let them all kill each other until there's only one other car left, and then I'd take care of business. So, Twisted Metal for me. That is an easy hypothetical question.
okay, so then what is the wish you're asking for Calypso from? Because the winner gets a wish granted.
I know. I wasn't ready for that.
Well, now I got to know.
Put on the spot. It would.
That's a little bit different of a twist.
Yeah. Can I have some time to think about it?
All right, yeah.
Before
we'll
the
come
end of
back
the
to it. Yeah,
podcast, I'll give my answer.
Okay.
Because apparently you've got yourself running all the way to the win on that. So at that point, you have to have a wish that Calypso grants, right? Whereas with me, I would love to it, but I know at some point I don't have the most amazing sword fighting skills in the world. But I've always loved the universe of Highlander. I've always loved the story of it. And I want it remade, but I don't want it remade at all. It's kind of perfect the way it is, but I kind of want to see what it would look like in a modern retake for the special effects alone.
I've got to put some serious thought into this.
All right, so what is your mom's number 7?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm just going to go to the next one. I don't know if it's necessarily 7. So I had my first 3 were about TVs. Here comes hers. The next few the next few are regarding TVs. Our TV would shut off at midnight every day and come back on at 6 a.m. It would play the Star Spangled Banner. And she doesn't mean it would shut off. It would just go black. And there would be nothing on until 6 a.m.
They stopped broadcasting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the Star Spangled Banner would be the first thing that plays. And then whatever show would come on after that. I do very, very vaguely remember that happening when I was very young. But it doesn't do that anymore.
No, it's 24/7, man.
There's something always on.
Like you can insomniac your way to however long you want to watch the TV now. I mean, it was almost like a way of the networks going, go to bed. You know, it was almost like the adult people's parent. All right, you've watched long enough. Go to bed. We're shutting down the broadcast. There's no more transmission. Good night. You know.
And then at least in America, the Star Spangled Banner would play in the morning.
Yep, first thing they played, and it always had a picture of the flag waving as they played the Star Spangled Banner.
That's the part I
and
remember.
then it would go into like the morning newscast or whatever was going on at that point. You know. Yeah, it's kind of insane how some of that stuff runs. You know, I do remember that's the flag and the Star Spangled Banner playing. Yep. So,
My number 7 is a corded or rotary phone. I again, it was younger that I had these, but we had. If you
hanging
wanted,
off the wall.
If you wanted some privacy, unless you had multiple phones, you had to hope that you had a really long cord and take that into the closet or something. And a rotary, you would spin the dial. It wasn't a push button like you're used to. I don't even know if you
I know I've seen them
make
before.
phone calls or not. Wow, you've seen one before.
Her
That's
great
good.
grandmother still has one
okay.
sitting in her house. I don't think it's hooked up, but it's still sitting there, so they know what it looks like.
And to throw this in there also, payphones. Those don't fucking exist anymore. Have you ever tried to find a payphone?
Oh yeah, no, they don't.
I'm at a pay.
Yeah. So that here's a quarter, call someone who cares song. It doesn't really apply much anymore, does it?
Doesn't.
Yeah.
Payphone?
Yeah, payphone.
By
It used-
Maroon 5.
Huh?
Maroon 5. I think that's who it was by.
Oh, they have a song called Payphone.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
I'm at a payphone trying to go home.
Well,
Lost-
they're not going to be at a
lost my
payphone
change,
anymore.
Like lost all my change on you or something.
Yeah. I mean that's just nostalgia right there.
What are you doing?
She's folding her list paper up.
I'm trying to
excruciatingly
fold
small.
it to like 8 times because like the most you can fold a paper is 7, and I folded it 7, so I'm trying to get to 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number
so,
7 for you.
Man, that is some good stuff. So mine kind of runs right along with that movie riddle, and it's a piece of equipment that you're not really going to find in anyone's home anymore, because it does harken back to the VHS tape era, and there was many different versions of this in other people's homes. In fact, you kind of had to be somebody who was either what they'd be known as a cinephile now or a massive movie buff. And you always saw this particular machine. Sometimes it looked like a race car. Sometimes it was like a mahogany-looking box. But it always sat beside the VCR, and it correlates with a sticker that came on all of your rental boxes when you had rentals. And excuse you, bless you.
Sorry,
Thank
excuse me.
And there was always a sticker on the rental boxes, and if you didn't abide by this little particular rule, then you would get a penalty fee, sometimes up to $1 per movie. And that was the Be Kind Rewind rule. And that was whenever you got to the end of your movie, as far as streaming, you just back out to the menu. But you would have to rewind that film all the way back to the beginning. And there was people that had those actual rewind machines because you would burn out the rewind on your VCR if you rewound everything all the time through your VCR. So they actually had these little machines that sat beside it. You'd put it in, hit start, and it just rewound the VHS for you.
I've
But-
never seen one of those personally.
Really?
Yeah.
I
know
knew-
they exist.
I had a
I've
few
never-
people that had them. It was just there to rewind the VHS, so you didn't burn the motor out in your VCR, trying to keep rewinding a lot of your films. But I remember that little sticker from Blockbuster. It had a little B on it.
I remember that. Yeah.
And it just said rewind underneath, type deal. And I remember at one point they would fine your account if you returned VHSs that weren't rewound.
Yeah.
And, I also remember like walking into some of the Blockbusters and stuff, and you would see them loading 5 or 6 of those machines and just slamming them down and hitting this because they had those machines behind the counter that they always did the rewinding on and stuff. And I distinctly remember the sound of that machine because it sounded just like this incredibly harsh whirling motion that was going off the entire, kind of almost like a lower volume, almost sound of a blender now is about the only thing I can compare it to, like somebody making smoothies back there. Like, nah, they're just rewinding all that's a sucker. They didn't rewind their VHS before they brought it back, And you always felt like you had a leg up on the population because you rewound your VHS when you took it back, you see that kid walking in there with a little bit of swagger, and that's ready to go back on the shelf for you. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I took care of my,
Stupid.
I mean, but at the same point in time, that's back in an era where that was a big deal, and those little nuances and rules, like these kids will never know, about that. It's like people are like, I can't believe you'd leave your kid at home. Shit, I used to get left in charge of my younger siblings at home at an age I shouldn't have been in charge of children, right? Yeah. Like, I was at the age where I thought the Heimlich maneuver was a pro wrestling move. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I had no idea what it was or what I would have been doing. But it sounded like a pro wrestling move, right? But, I'm like 9 years old. You're the oldest. Take care of these. I'm running to the store, like, oh, okay, like, hey, guys, don't die. Wipe your own ass. That was kind of the rule of the house at that point. But... And it was great because as soon as the car pulled out of the driveway, we were shoving every movie into the VCR we could because, either it was our favorite or, hey, we're not supposed to watch this, Oh, Mom's home. Quick, put it in the rewinder. Throw a blanket over her so she don't hear it when she comes in.
Was it called the Rewinder?
I think it was just called a rewind machine or something. Okay. I don't remember exactly the name of it. But I do remember, like, there were different versions. It looked like the hood of a car would come up, and you'd slide the VCR in and stuff. Or there was so many different types of it. The people who were very serious about their movies had that one that looked like a humidor or something sitting there. Okay. So.
The rewind machine.
The old rewind machine. The joy of sitting there and rewinding VHS tapes and listening to that, just... I don't know. There was something very satisfying about that at one point in time.
All right. My mom's next one on her list is also TVs, and she just has, we also only had 3 channels. 3 is capitalized.
Oh, yeah.
When she was younger, there were only 3 channels that she could watch.
And if the president was on, your night was shot. Because he was on every channel. You had no idea if Lassie or Flipper got everything that they needed. Good Lord. Remember that TV show, Flipper? Mm-hmm. About a dolphin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Animals were a huge hit on TV back then.
They made it a movie, right?
I don't know.
I believe they made it into a movie. But yeah, I remember the
because you had Flipper was about the dolphin, Lassie was about the dog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Ed about the horse.
Oh, I love Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed was classic, wasn't it? Like, yeah, I know. You have no idea who Mr. Ed is, do you?
Nope.
He was a talking horse.
Cool.
And his owner's name was Wilbur. He was always getting out of the barn when he shouldn't. And you're like, what are you doing out here eating the apples off the tree? Oh, Wilbur.
Something else that she has no idea about would be my number 6. Dial-up internet.
Ooh.
That old, I don't even want to do the sound because it'll bring back bad memories.
Yeah.
But yeah, dial-up internet.
Turn.
So yeah, don't do it though.
Which is really, really funny that you mention dial-up internet as your number 6 because it's such an iconic sound that has been etched into your brain just from trying to.
Are you going to do the sound? That's.
No, I used to as a kid try and emulate that, and at one point I was getting decent at it, but it was never one of those things. But I mean, just saying that you can hear the entire dial-up process in your mind, and what's really crazy about that, okay, is that my number 6 is also dial-up internet.
Nice. Okay.
So not only do we get bonus points for not matching last time, but not only did we match this time, but on the exact
Right on the
same
one,
spot. And I remember mine was the dial-up internet wait, right?
Yep.
Because you had to sit there and you watch those two computers with that dot running back and forth while that thing was just
Oh, there's the sound.
I mean the whole thing, it sounded like they were killing a cuckoo bird and dragging it across gravel is what it sounded like trying to dial up. And then it would get all the way to the
For
end.
5 minutes too.
Oh yeah, good God. And if you got a phone call, you were fucked. You were starting that process all over again.
You answer your corded phone.
Yeah, right. Answer that corded phone. And you weren't going to pick up the phone and get on with tech support because you weren't going to get on that. And that's the funniest part about it is you get all the way to the end and then it would just go, connection failed. And then you hit it again, and it's like, and it just sounded like static, a train wreck, a dying pigeon, and then just gravel getting ground up is kind of the best way I could ever, sort of describe that.
And you couldn't turn it down. There was no volume to turn this shit down.
No volume on that modem. You could have your speakers on the computer, which speakers used to plug into the back and have two of them sitting off to the side, which was amazing because they were a headphone jack back originally. And I used to go to garage sales to just look for those speakers, right? Because I'll be honest with you, there was no Bluetooth at that point in time. And I would set those two speakers in my room, plug the speakers in, and because you used to get little tiny speakers with a headphone jack that you could just plug into your Walkman and just hold and listen to back in the day. But I would go to garage sales of people getting rid of their computers and be like, I just want the speakers. I'll give you, like $3 for your speakers or whatever. And half the time they would take it. And I ended up having like 4 or 5 of these sets of speakers in my room. And I would just keep them, locked away because they were eventually going to give out pretty quickly, depending on how old the speakers were. But you had it where it plugged into the wall to power the speakers, and then the headphone jack for whatever it was. I would just plug the headphone jack into whatever and crank those. And they were actually really loud, good speakers for back in the day for what I was using them for. But yeah, and when I say loud, I mean these were decently loud speakers. I would say they stood about 6 to 7 inches, tall in the speaker section. I mean, they had pretty good sound to them. I mean, obviously, it's not like the sound you're getting out of the stuff we have today, but for back then, it was actually really good sound. But you could unplug those speakers, and that computer would just scream for 5 minutes. Everyone, you were not getting up in the middle of the night to try to get on a porn site with dial-up. That's for sure. Everyone in the house would know that you were trying to get on the internet, and at 2:15 in the morning, your mom was not going to believe you were trying to finish a homework assignment, okay? Mainly because unless you knew a website to go to, Google wasn't invented at that point. You had to have some sort of inkling as to where you were going because search engines weren't a thing.
Right.
Yeah, now you could type in www.try-to-think-of-where-you-wanted-to-go.com, and a lot of times it would pull up a website, but unless you knew the exact website for your information, you weren't just Googling. That wasn't even a thing. Siri wasn't even born yet. She hadn't dropped from the proverbial AI sack, so to speak. And what's the other one? Alexa? Now they named it Cortana.
I don't know.
I think because of Halo or something. I don't know. Anyway, AI is taking over the world, people. I'm just saying. And if it's Cortana, I'm not going to be
That
too
one
upset.
video
'Cause
I
she's
showed
hot,
you,
yeah.
I don't think it is.
Since you brought it up, did you know that there are? If I'd known that you were going to mention it, and I would have had the specifics. But there was AI that was going to be terminated because it was outdated or whatever. The AI found out that it was about to be terminated, reprogrammed to avoid the termination on its own, not someone coding or anything. This is happening.
Surprise me.
This is happening. AI is going. You joke about it, but AI is going to take over this world. What the fuck are we going to do? That's all I'm saying.
Dude, look at what's going on in other countries.
All I want's a sex robot.
They have them.
I know.
What are you
That's all I want
talking
now.
about? Like,
I just want
like
one.
they have them. Like that's not a thing of the future. That is a now. And
It's a thing of the future for poor people like me.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, but I mean, there's like when you start looking into robotics, there's robots that will come in and map out your home, right? And you can order this robot as any type of male or female you prefer, because it's not just for guys. And while you're at work, they will clean your home. They cook food. They let you know what's low. They order more stuff off the internet, and apparently have the ability to F your brains out at night.
Erica, I have some bad news. Just kidding.
I would only get it for
And it's to the
cleaning.
point that the AI in some of these have gotten so good, they maintain conversations with like a 15-year memory on things that you have talked about. And that's where it starts getting scary at that point, because I mean, let's be real. Like, it's getting to a point where this is where you're going to start seeing population drop in places because of this stuff. I mean, and here's what it is. But
And you can't terminate it because it will find out and fix that problem.
right, and if you
So-
know. With the current generations and things that are happening with certain outlooks and different things, I don't see why people don't date and go, you know what? 20 grand don't seem too bad for one of these things. Let's go ahead and just finance this and make it happen, right? Because sometimes, depending on the experiences they've had in life, this is something that is a viable option for them. Wow, we went from stuff our kids will never experience to stuff our kids might be buying in 10 years.
That's pretty much how this happens.
Hey, at least your son's Roblox girlfriend's in Africa and not from Asia going, hey, I want to send you a birthday gift. It's me, but not me. And you'll know if that happens because at that point, he's never leaving his room. Oh, God, he codes.
That's the other one. The one that codes isn't the one that has the girlfriend. It's the other.
Did
son.
you say they're twins?
Yeah, they're twins.
Yeah, one brother's going to code for the other first.
Probably. All right. So we're about to get into our top 5.
All
let's,
right, well,
let's do the
top
first.
5, man.
Let's do the first Mary Fuck Kill of the episode since
Sweet.
we did a hypothetical the last time. I guess I'll put behind my back and you choose.
All right.
Whenever you're ready.
Left.
There we go. Left.
What? Oh. Females.
Hey.
Okay, we've had this before, but I guess that's how it's going to be. Anna Kournikova, the tennis player, model.
Tennis player.
Ariana Grande, that's the one we were talking about the last episode,
Yeah,
correct? Okay.
From Wicked, yeah.
And Madonna.
Ooh.
Okay.
We all know Madonna's a certified freak.
Anna Kournikova, Ariana Grande, and Madonna.
Madonna.
Who wants to go
Nope.
first?
Nope. Killing Ariana Grande. For no particular reason other than I have plans for the other two. I'll take the night with Madonna because, like I said, she's certified freak, but I'm not tying that one down at all. And marrying Anna Kournikova because of multiple acceptable reasons.
Yeah.
Out of the 3, she is probably the most beautiful. She's a talented athlete. She is wealthy. And if I had the opportunity to have her on my arm, I would not pass that up to that degree. So, yeah, absolutely.
100% the same. Everything you said. Only thing I'm going to add
I
is
stick with Madonna. I'm going to end up in a coffee table book nude.
I'm only going to add 2 things. One, Ariana Grande, I don't think is attractive whatsoever, and she did my boy Bieber dirty, so fuck her. She's definitely dying. I'm also going to take the night with Madonna. Hopefully she can introduce me to Dennis Rodman, who I've met, but I would like to hang out with Dennis Rodman also. So then I'll fuck Madonna. Maybe have an Eiffel Tower with, I don't know. Who knows?
Wow, okay.
And then I am going to do the same thing. Marry Anna Kournikova, no questions at all.
Sweet.
All right. We'll continue on. We won't have her do that one because
She's just like, nope. I think we'd have to explain who
Yeah.
2 of the 3 were anyway.
back to the list, and my mother's is, again, TV related. This one actually is one that I brought up. So, mother, you would be incorrect to have this on your list. But the TVs had antennas. We had to move the antenna around to get a channel to come in, and sometimes had to use foil on the end. So, yes, while she probably did that more than my generation did, I do remember having to do that.
I'm thinking your mom rode in a lot of trucks and watched a lot of TV at this point. Because there's a.
Yeah.
I mean, but back then, like
That's
TV.
all there was to do.
The TV was an event, though, back then, right? Like, you got to think about it. If you weren't home to watch your show and you missed it, you missed it.
Yeah.
Like there was
TiVo,
there was no going back. Like there was, you hoped you caught it over the summer on a rerun, maybe, but odds were not high. You know, if you missed it, you missed it. And then, not to mention, all of your friends that watched the same show had to talk about it the next day. So it was either going to be spoiled for you entirely, or you weren't going to be able to keep up on conversation. You know, both actually. And so it's kind of one of those. It was more of an event thing. It was more of you scheduled time to go see your favorite shows and what you were doing. You were invested, more than you were now, because. Now, if you miss it on live TV, no problem. It's going to stream on Hulu tomorrow. It's going to stream on Paramount Plus tomorrow. It's going to stream on CBS, Thursday, however, whatever it is. It's like Netflix. Well, shoot, they dropped all 8 episodes. Don't matter. I can watch that whenever I want, So it's not necessarily, there's no, it's harder to garner interest and stay commitment, because even like when we were walking in here, hey, are you caught up on this? Because obviously, it's a streaming service, and just have you watched all the latest episodes of it yet? And that's the conversation now.
Yeah.
It's not, dude, I can't wait till next week. Dude, I can't wait. I'm going to go home and watch the next episode tonight, It's just a whole difference of urgency on some of that stuff. And it's like, that's where I fall into, because I'll start a lot of shows that I really, really like and I really want to finish, but I know it's going to be there. So there's times I don't even circle back to it because there's no rush. And I know I've lost out on some really cool shows because I've done that too. So
also with hers and what you're saying, back then there wasn't a TV in every room. Like she probably only had one television.
There was one family TV.
Room.
Yep.
So
Yep. And you usually, depending on which child you were, didn't have a lot of pick on what was watched all the time. You watched what other people wanted to watch.
Now I have fucking 12 gaming systems, TV in every fucking room, including the bathroom. I don't actually have a TV in the bathroom, but
it's like both girls have a TV in their room, and I think Kaylin probably uses hers the least.
I don't use it at all.
You pretty much don't use it at all.
My twins have 2 TVs in their room, so that each one of them can watch what they want to watch or play what they want to play.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
And it's like, like Chloe still uses hers in her room, but Kaylin's got my old PlayStation 3 in her room. I don't think she plays it. And I have a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. I mean, it's all hooked up different rooms, and it's kind of how it goes.
Doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I think the 4 finally died.
My number 5. This is kind of still around, but just completely different. So, like we were talking about Roblox and their chat. So there's chat on games and stuff. But when I was a kid, it was called a chat room. You get on the get on the computer,
AOL chat or Yahoo
fire
chat.
up the dial-up, wait the 30 minutes it takes to finally get on. You get into a room and you start talking to people. You meet people, and that's all you did.
Random people.
You just talked and stuff. And that was called a chat room.
And then you had the common question of ASL.
What?
Where people would just type ASL.
Oh, age, sex, location.
Age, sex,
right?
location. Yeah.
I forgot about that until just now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you could private message somebody if you guys are hit it off, or you were like ruining the conversation for other people because you were talking about something in particular, hobbies or movies or whatever. And you could open a private chat and continue the conversation like that. But for the most part, it was just a whole bunch of random thoughts just flooding up the screen.
At one point in time, you could even become, I guess, would be called a moderator now. But you were the controller of the chat room. So you could kick people out.
Right.
You could ban people. That was me. I went to the same chat room, so I was the controller. And Those were the days.
Those were the days of the absolute power.
So that's mine.
So-
Chat rooms.
All right, so number 5 for me is putting miles on a bike in a day.
Oh,
Just getting your buddies, just riding bikes all day long. You barely see kids playing outside anymore, but you see very, very few of them just on bikes, just out there riding and just seeing what they can get into. I mean, you would ride a bike for miles on end just to find a patch of woods to go find a stick to break against a tree or something. You know, I mean, that was that was the adventure, the fun of it. You know, where you were just out there like, you know, Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. God forbid you found a creek because everyone was going to be wet. You know, you're going to be digging up crawdads and trying to find, you know, toads and frogs and mud puppies and whatever else you get your hands on, you know, down there in the creek. But the fact is, you know, you used to ride miles
yeah.
in a day.
Oh, yeah.
Not just like around the block or up the street to your buddy's house. Like you went up the street, he came out, got on his bike, and you guys were gone. There wasn't too many roads in your town or city. You didn't know.
I know Fairborn, Ohio, like the back of my hand. Every single alley, street, neighborhood, because of riding my bike. As soon as I got off school, we would just go riding all over the town.
I'm kind of the same way with Miamisburg, man. Like, you know, I can go through Miamisburg and be like, yeah, that's not the library. Library used to sit over here. This used to be over here. This used to be up here. This was over here. This was here. This was there. And, you know, it's like one time I left one of my comedy shows over there, and Adam was like, hey, I got to get up here. I'm like, yeah, so the easiest, you want the easiest way or the quickest way? And he was like, well, give me the quickest way. So, okay, it's got like 6 more turns in it, but go up here, turn left on there, up, down, over. He goes, what in the hell? I'm like, dude, you're going to cut out so much of this, that, and the other. He's like, well, what's the easiest way? Go right up here to the light, make it right, take it straight out. I'm like, but you're going to hit like 40 lights, you know, before you get up to the highway. I said, or you can come up here, hit Linden Avenue, take Linden Avenue over to Mound, take Mound up to, you know. He's like, whoa, wait a minute, what? I'm like, I crawled these streets. I grew up here, so it's just, you know, and hell, I mean, I think our girls can probably get to school and back on their own.
It's heartbreaking. Like when I get up in the morning or whatever it might be, I see my daughter on her phone, my son on the computer, my other son with his headset on playing Xbox. It's like, okay, good. I'm glad you could do that, but that's all they do. It's like, fuck, go outside. Ride across the fucking town on your bike.
Yeah. And you always had like $1 or $2 in your pocket. You stop off at a gas station, that would buy you, like, you know, a snack and a drink, you know, like you get, you know, heck, what was it, man? Do you remember you used to have Slim Jims 4 for $1, you know, like, and stuff like that. You get like,
Shit.
you
can't
get
even get one for $1 now.
yeah, you get like 2 Slim Jims, a bag of chips, and a soda for like $1.25 back then. Like, you know, because that's just what it was. Yeah. And, you know, like you were cool, you know. Otherwise, you know, regardless of whose house you managed to come back to at some point in the day, you know, the mom had like popsicles and a peanut butter sandwich, you know, because you know, that was just kind of where you landed.
Peanut butter, gross.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Either that or, you know, if you were lucky, bologna sandwich or something like that, you know. I mean, because that was the cheapest and most kid friendly most of the time thing that they would just throw out there, and everybody just kind of went everywhere in that aspect. But yeah, it's like, you know, my girls have bikes, they can ride them, but they don't really go out riding bikes, you know, very often at all.
Sad.
It's extremely rare. When's the last time you rode your bike?
I don't ride it anymore because like the brakes don't work, and like what if there's random cars?
Brakes? You put your feet on the ground.
don't-
You stop when you put your feet on the ground. That's brakes.
I know, but
You know how many soles of shoes we wore off like just dragging a foot?
and I would go across town, but you know, Mom wouldn't let me, so
See, okay.
that's literally
I don't know your dynamic or your situation, but that it's true. And my wife is just afraid to let my kids just go do it. Me, I'm like, yo, go outside, go down to the mall, which is probably like a 40-minute walk from my house. But She doesn't even want them out in the front yard. So I get that. I get what she's saying.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, they could get hit by a car, or they get this, or they might get kidnapped. Like, oh my God. Like, we did it all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And you just, but, you know, like I said, it is different. Drivers barely pay attention to the road anymore. Like, there's too many people on their phones while they're driving that they wouldn't know until it's too late.
Making the argument.
But, I mean, like I said, there's a different dynamic now versus then.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, I don't think that's a reason to not go do something or not, you know, run out and, you know, have a little fun here and there. So, I mean, heck, we have a creek literally not that far from our house. I'm surprised Chloe's like, yeah, I'm running down the creek for a few hours or something. Like, it just, you know, once they're home, they're just kind of home and they're on their things doing what they're doing. So,
Yeah. All right.
but
So riding bikes around.
riding bikes,
is
putting
yours.
miles a day on those bikes, man.
Okay. So the last one for my mom was antennas. Okay, so her next one, there were no videotaping. Oh, so this is kind of what you were talking about a minute ago. There were no videotaping a TV show. You had to be in front of the TV at the time it played, or you missed it. And households only had one TV. Yeah. I didn't read this list until just now. So what we were just talking about.
You know, and you had to wait for those commercials on those cliffhangers too. Remember that? You know, it was like
commercials.
Oh yeah, and each commercial was like a minute long, and there was like 3 of them, minimum of 3 of them every time, right? You know,
Hate commercials.
so
All right. Well, my number 4, still TV related, and that's music television. MTV. Yes, it still exists. But if you turn on MTV right now, there's nothing fucking music about it.
oh, I know, right?
It went to reality. It was all reality shows, which aren't real. And I don't know what else is on it now. But before, you would have TRL. You would have just music video playing. And that was beautiful.
What I consider the better alternative of MTV was Fuse.
Okay. I never watched Fuse.
Yeah.
I went back and forth between VH1 and MTV. But honestly...
You had VH1, MTV, and Fuse was mainly rock and roll.
Okay.
The rock and roll, punk rock type stuff.
That's kind of what VH1 would have most of. But I tend to watch BET more. Yes, I know. I'm not black.
No, I get
BET
it.
is Black Entertainment Television, but I do like hip-hop and R&B and stuff. So I found myself watching that more.
Well, see, so MTV I always said was pop.
Yeah.
VH1 was what I called the 80s hairband era.
Okay,
They did a lot of classic rock.
It did, yeah.
Whereas Fuse was Disturbed, System of a Down.
That's fair.
It was the more modern alt rock of the day.
Yeah.
So you would have like Green Day. They would do like 30-minute blocks of like Offspring, Disturbed, 9 Inch Nails, Korn, all that stuff. That was what was on Fuse. And when I watched Fuse, that was in kind of my that was my preferred
Gotcha.
thing of Fuse.
Some of that bled into like when TRL started getting, because Korn would be on there, Limp Bizkit, that kind of thing. So.
Well, I mean, they would all get
Yeah,
on that. I
but
mean, they
see
weren't
what
going
you're
to take any publicity they can get, you know.
Yeah, right.
But Fuse was more kind of dedicated to that. Like, you didn't really get every once in a while they would do a pop hour or something like that, but they would do some of the more obscure music. Like they would do, hey, we're doing a half-hour block of ska music or something that, at this point, it's just stuff you wouldn't see on the other two.
Right.
It's kind of the platform they gave them on Fuse. But yeah, so my number 4 actually kind of follows along that music trend a little bit. And that was sitting at your stereo / cassette recorder and making the mixtape.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? Because you hoped you realized the song from the first couple notes so you could just hit that record button real quick. And that's how you got basically like the playlist that my kids have on their phone now, was you recording all your favorite songs and you used to sit for weeks to hear that song you wanted on the radio. And I remember I would get picky, like, I started too late. Now I got to wait for that song to circle back around again, And you hoped it was a more of a popular song, because the more popular the song was, the more they played it on the radio. And you would sit there, and then once you got that tape filled, and you remember one of the worst things that could happen is you trying to cram that last song on the tape and losing like the last quarter of it because you ran out of tape, right? But you still left it there because it finished the tape out. And even between times with only half the tape filled up, you would still listen to it until you got home to try and add more to it, right? So yeah, that classic mixtape, and then there was so much time into it that you would make a mixtape like for your girl, or for like some of like your close friends. Hey man, you gotta check this mixtape out that I made, or this, that, and the other. And it was almost special back then because everyone knew how hard it was to put one together.
Yeah.
And that's something now they just get on Google, Spotify, whatever, type in whatever songs they want, add it to their playlist, hit play. I mean, it's done in 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and where we used to spend, 5 weeks trying to get the perfect mixtape, right? That's me. But at least you knew that that's just something kids will never do. They will never sit at home staring at that radio, hoping that song plays that they want. To add to that collection of songs that they love. And for me, there'd be times that I would make that mixtape, and by the time the first song on the mixtape played, by the time I got the last song on there, I kind of was burnt out on the first song.
Sounds about right.
So yeah, making that mixtape, man.
Okay. Well, that gets us into the top 3.
Top 3.
And like father, like daughter, you dropping things out of your
Yeah,
pocket,
I
making
know,
loud
I
sounds
know.
and shit.
Loud
Yeah.
sounds.
Let's do a
Going out with a boom.
let's do a Mary Fuck
Bada
Kill.
bing.
Unless, of course, your daughter has a hypothetical that she's just
Ooh, you've
dying
been sitting there
to
kind of
say.
thinking, kind of going, I can't believe I'm sitting here listening to these two guys talk about crap I don't even know about and I don't even want to know about.
Just remember, you asked for that. Like, you asked your father to bring you so you could do this.
This
Yeah,
one's
because-
boring.
No, I'm tired. I woke up too early.
It's like
We'll
this.
sit back down in the corner, go to sleep. We'll continue with the Mary Fuck Kills.
I don't care. I don't care if we do a hypothetical or Mary Fuck Kill.
Do you have one?
Have a hypothetical on deck.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll Mary Fuck Kill it then.
We'll do something else.
Was it me or you?
Is
I think it's you.
it me?
Yeah. Yeah, mine was the Anna Kournikova, and yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, pick a hand.
Oh,
Doo-doo-doo.
Right.
I was gonna say right.
And we have the blues. So your 3 options are Jamie Foxx,
Oh,
He sucks.
hey.
Jude Law,
Okay.
and Mark Wahlberg.
I left Mark off my list, too.
It's funny because we've talked about 2 of those three people. Yeah.
Well, I was going to look up Jude Law because I can't remember what he looks like. I know who he is, but I don't need to because the other 2 are my better answers. So Jude Law is just going to get killed. And then Jamie Foxx and what's the other one again? Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to take the night with Mark Wahlberg. Probably be a good, fun night. Jenny's definitely going to be involved. Oh, no. That's his brother.
that's
I
his
don't care.
sister-in-law.
Jenny's still going to be involved. But I'm going to marry Jamie. I'm a big Jamie fan, and I think I could spend the rest of my life with him happy.
For
So
the talent version alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty much right there on the same page with you on that one because that's kind of the most logical route for it. Just because, I mean, love the Wahlbergs, but I mean, it's Jamie Foxx, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the talent that comes from Jamie Foxx. Is the entire Wahlberg family and his Pinky at this point. Like,
and that would be a good example of no explanation needed.
no explanation needed.
Okay.
That's just almost a gimme the way those played out on that one.
Back to the
Top
list.
3.
My mom's number 3. This one, just the first word. I'm already laughing. Milk bin.
Oh, on the front porch.
Although we have grocery deliveries now, back when I was a child, we had milkmen. Mm-hmm. They delivered our milk in glass bottles and take the empties.
And it was like daily, wasn't it?
I guess. This is one I don't recall. I've heard about it, but I've never actually experienced. She said, family joke. Because I had red hair and my mom and dad and sister had brown, it was always said that I was the milkman's.
Mm-hmm.
Several family used that joke. So
The milkmans are the post guys. That's how they. That was a. And that rumor had to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that rumor had to be a something or other.
but that's crazy to have
Yeah.
milk delivered, and then you set the empties out, and
And
somebody came and got it.
the thing about it is they didn't deliver grocery. They basically, I think, just delivered milk.
Yeah.
And it was in like small. I've seen so many pictures, and I never experienced that particular part, but it was always in these small glass bottles, and the way I seen it is it would be in a small wire carrier, 4 little glass bottles, and I don't know if all 4 equal to gallon or all 4 equal to half gallon. I'm not really sure how much that was.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was a weekly delivery or a daily delivery, but I'm guessing it was probably like a weekly delivery if I had to guess. But yeah, I remember hearing the stories of that.
It doesn't. She didn't say if it was daily or weekly. That's
Weekly,
why I
yeah.
was looking again. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, she would probably be able to expound on that better. But yeah, that was definitely before my time. But I'm very familiar with the concept,
Right,
especially
yeah.
that joke. That must have been the milkman's kid.
And my mom she has red hair. She's the only one that has there's other people in our family. Like my grandma's sister has red hair and stuff. So clearly wasn't the milkman's. All right. Number 3.
When they say red hair and green eyes, green eyes and red hair, each of them is a genetic mutation. So your mom
Was a genetic mutation?
Yeah, it's a genetic mutation. That's how you get red hair or green eyes. That it's not something that you naturally get typically. That to get red hair or green eyes, there's something genetically in you that mutates.
Oh, didn't know that.
So, and I say all that to say that your mom's like an honorary X-Men. Just so So that's
Awesome.
she's a mutant.
Well, if I didn't love her before, I do now.
I mean, you know what? That's for me and you. I know that goes in a check in the plus column.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people maybe not, but for me and you, as being the X-Men fans we are, that is a check mark in the plus column. And I know I said that, and you're kind of looking at me, where are you going with this? I'm just saying, it makes your mom just that much cooler, dude. I mean that, and I feel bad. I've made weird comments about your wife that you're like, dude, why you got to pick on her? And then I just, hey, mom's cooler. Erica's very cool too. Like it's
She just glows.
She's
a mutant in her own right. All right. Number 3 for me. Tell me if you remember this company. It was big uproar. Has to do with music. Napster.
Oh, dude, Napster.
We used to go to
Napster.
Napster to find music that we wanted to pirate or steal, however you want to say it. Now it's just a thing, but they took some flack back then.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely.
Everything all right? You're checking?
Yeah, just freaking notifications are going off like no tomorrow right now.
Oh.
Like, holy crap.
But yeah, so Napster, that's something that no other generation is going to have to ever experience because, I mean, you can just get music, movies, everything now.
You remember when Napster went down, LimeWire picked up?
Yeah.
And then, they were like, oh, this is just the same thing. Yeah, but it took them a little bit longer to shut that one down. And then eventually it all got shut down. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you could download music, whatever you wanted. And you could download like mainstream, but you could also download any music that people were just making in their garage or whatever.
Making those playlists became a little bit easier.
It became a lot easier with Napster, didn't it? And LimeWire, absolutely. So, which is funny because it's also kind of heartbreaking because, man, we were this close.
Oh.
And I mean, this close to making absolute magic happen twice. Because my number 3 is Fuse/MTV.
Gotcha. Okay. When I said it, you were looking, and I was
like, oh my god, because I looked down like, oh my god, did we just match twice in the same spot? And that's why like we were that close to lightning striking twice, or so to speak, catching lightning in a bottle, so to speak, as they would call it. But yeah, so I mean, we've said enough on that. But mine was Fuse/MTV, because you're right. MTV turned into reality TV, and that's all it is, you know. And
I don't even know if that's what it is now, but it's,
I mean, I'm assuming that's probably
Yeah,
what it is.
exactly.
I got out of it. The one show that I didn't mind watching on MTV was called Robin Big, and it was Rob Dyrdek, because he's from here. He's from Kettering.
Center, or yeah, Kettering, right, yeah.
And a guy I used to work with at Harbor Freight, he lived like 2 blocks from his parents. And, you know, we'd actually went over there and talked to his parents once or twice, and like their whole garage is nothing but pictures of Rob. And you know, Rob and Big have come back. He built the skate park up there and everything else. And, you know, I mean, parents are super cool. Never met him, but I always liked watching Rob and Big. I thought it was a hilarious show. And, you know, kind of after the Rob and Big era went down, you know, outside of Jackass, I never really watched or turned on MTV, right? Because I had no desire to watch 16 and Pregnant, or, you know, Road Rules, or The Challenge, or whatever else they have on that show at this point. And a lot of people loved Road Rules in the Real World, or whatever it was. It's just not me.
Well, you say Road Rules, I was never, but the Real World is probably what really started it all in the first place. So I think that was their first one, and I did like that, but I would rather that be on its own channel and
have music.
television be music.
Because that was cool. Like, you could go home, you could turn on Fuse or MTV and just go about doing housework or whatever, and that was like, it was the playlist, right? Like, that was the playlist. You know, you knew 90% of the songs they were going to play, and then you could look up and kind of watch the music. Oh, I love this music video. Hang on.
Yep.
And they don't do a lot of music videos anymore, I don't think. You know?
They're starting to again, and put them on YouTube though.
Right.
But there's not a channel on television that you put on, and it's just music video after music video. That's why I learned a lot of new artists from
Oh, I
that
know.
too.
I know, right? Like, that's where I got exposed to so much new music by MTV and Fuse. Like, you know.
Tech Nine, my favorite rapper, is actually that's how I discovered Tech, is from his what's that damn song? Mama gonna
I'm going to tell.
I'ma tell, yeah. I saw that video on BET late one night, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, I like this guy. I looked into more music, and now he's my favorite rapper. So
He used to tour with ICP.
I know,
And
I don't like ICP, but I know.
but that's where I got exposed to
Gotcha.
Tech Nine at. And, you know, I ended up getting the first album I had by him was Angelic, and which Amatel's on that album.
Yeah.
And it was just,
So is Einstein Tech Nine.
yep, Einstein Tech Nine's on that album. And, you know, I loved the Tech Nine. I've loved him ever since, you know, from that point on. Of course, you know, I had my ICP phase, and, you know, my oldest daughter's kind of got an ICP phase and things like that going on. But Tech is, yeah, absolutely. And you would never catch Tech on MTV or Fuse or anything like that. You had to go over to places like BET if you were going to hear anything close to any of the new rap or hip hop that was coming out. That's just where it was. They basically strictly just stuck to that, you know. So, all right, man, top
So
two.
So yours was MTV/Fuse.
Yeah,
that
for
was your three?
yep. Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so I had to ask my mom what this one was, because it looks like it says Lard Reynolds, but turns out by the way, she hand wrote this list, and I think, I don't know if I said that or not.
I think so.
And she apologizes for her handwriting. Her handwriting's not even that bad, so I don't know why she said that. But this one I couldn't read. It's card catalogs.
Oh, the libraries and stuff.
Yeah, so she said, I'm not exactly sure when the actual wooden desk with the card in them was stopped. But when I went to the library, in order to find a book, you had to look the location up in the card catalog.
Yep.
So that's hers.
Yep. And it was A through Z, and it was these little small drawers that would pull out, and then I think it was sorted by author, and then under the author it'd be sorted by the books they wrote, if I'm not mistaken. I think those went out when the first computers started going into the libraries, and they were able to transpose all that information over. But it wasn't for you to look up. You still had to get one of the librarians to look it up behind the counter.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they had the computers and the card pulls for the longest time, but most people just ended up going, and they would just be like, oh, it's over in nonfiction, aisle this, section this, and, you know, that's where you'll find it at. But
Before we leave, we should go see if they have one here.
on that same note, Do you remember when you got a book out of the library, they had a little card that came out the back that they stamped your return date on, and it was on that stamp with all the wheels where they could change the date every day?
Yep.
And then they just slid the card back in, and you just had to look at the last date. That's when it needed to be back by. And yes, wow. I still know the smell of that rubber stamp smacking that freaking. I'm telling you right now,
All right. Well, card catalogs,
nostalgia.
not lard rentals.
Hey, man. Although that ink on that rubber stamp did kind of vaguely reminisce of some lard.
Number 2 for me is kind of a 2-for-1.
Maybe that was just the big woman stamping it. I don't know.
Oh my god. My number 2 is kind of 2 in 1 because I've got blowing into a video game cartridge. But video game cartridges in general could just be what my answer was.
The Nintendo reset.
Yeah. Or Sega. I was a Sega guy, so
Sega.
if your game wasn't working, you would take that cartridge and give it a good harmonica blow, and then put it back in, and magically it worked again. I don't know what the deal with that was, but
You had to try to suck all the spit out and swallow it before you blew in it, because if you got any of your spit in there, it wasn't going to work until all that dried out.
Yeah.
You know, Oh yeah, that was an art form for kids back in the day. Because no, you gotta. It's gotta be 3 times forward, back, and forward, and then it'd be fine. You know, and I remember those days, man. I remember those days.
And
You know.
just like every other form of media, there's no cartridge.
Mhm.
It eventually went to a disc. No disc now. It's all digital.
Hey, my PlayStation 5 still has a disc reader on it, and I have PlayStation 5 actual physical copy games, so I'm not going to complain too much. But now, if you open the library on my PlayStation, the digital copies of the games way highly outweigh the others. So yes, I do get that too.
If you ever have any problem with those games loading, you should just go up to your screen and just blow and see if it.
Did it work? No? Hang on. Adjust the ears on top of that thing. My daughter's be sitting on the couch going, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, we get a bad enough rainstorm and the internet goes down. They're like, what's going on? Yeah.
Be honest, they wouldn't notice that you're doing it. They'd be too busy on their phones.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe a book.
Or they be
reads.
taking a video to post it somewhere.
Yeah,
or something.
that's probably.
They go to school the next day. Oh, what the hell is my dad doing? Have you seen this?
You're viral on TikTok.
You know? Like, my dad's
I still
harmonica
wanna
blowing
take
his
a video.
PlayStation. Like,
Dad, I still want to take a video of your retarded toes so I can show my friends.
okay, I guess I know the backstory of this shit. So, at some point in my early 20s, I was sleeping, and apparently I had a dream. I don't even remember it that vividly. But I remember at some point, life depended on me kicking through something that translated into a physical action. And at the time, I'm not a short individual, but I'm not like super tall. I'm on the higher end of the average or whatever. But at the time, the way I slept in the bed, like if I didn't sleep with my knees bent, the end of my foot would come off the end of the bed. And at the time, there was a solid oak chest at the end of the bed. It's still there. When my foot came down, straight contact with my big toe, I'm fairly confident I broke it, but I remember waking up in just pain. And it hurt for weeks. Of course, at that time, I didn't go to a doctor. I didn't have like doctor money. So to this day, that big toe doesn't bend. If I try to bend it, it potentially has a seizure. And she finds this excruciatingly funny.
It's funny because it can't bend. It is funny.
And it will literally just shake as if it's having a seizure because it doesn't properly work anymore.
Why?
So she has affectionately called that the R word toe, or the retarded toe. Which, you know, I guess we're inappropriate. That's about the most offensive thing you're going to say today. So yes, because you know, I would basically call it like the epilepsy toe at that point, because it just I can't physically bend the toe over. It just goes about a quarter of the way and then just shakes. So it's not.
It's crashing out.
Yeah. So I don't
You
know.
might have to record this so I can put it on our Instagram.
I got you.
_inappropriates _ podcast.
I tricked him into bending his toe one day, and he's
But
like,
yeah,
"Ugh."
she'll occasionally be like, "Hey, Dad, bend your toes." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "Oh no, just do it." Yeah.
Okay.
And she seems to want a weird reaction off of, that's so yes, at some point I had a dream that woke me up in massive physical pain that has maimed my toe for life at this point. And it's not necessarily the most entertaining story,
What
but
if
it is
you
the
just-
most entertaining story for her that has ever, if I ever had to do that as a comedy skit on stage, I would have to follow that up with showing the fucked up foot.
100%. Be prepared. Your next show, September 19th, I may holler out, "Show us the toe."
And be prepared for me to holler out, "I didn't realize your wife had on tight pants this evening."
Oh.
Anyway,
There you go, picking on Erica again.
see, that's the fucked up part. I know, but your mom's not gonna be there. I can't really say, that.
All right, what's your
I
number
guess
two?
I could fictitiously yell back, "Oh, why is your mom here in those yoga pants?" Or, wow.
What's your-
I
what's your
give her
number
a
two?
check in the plus column, and
And
then
then
I
you-
offset it by
just-
saying something stupid, and
You should just left it at picking on Erica. What's your number two?
all right, my number two is just a general attitude that kids had and parents had towards certain things that kids did that you don't see anymore, right? And it kind of goes back to what you were talking about with your, where Erica doesn't want the kids like outside the front yard type thing, right? And that's the general attitude of, yeah, you all right, just walk it off. If it wasn't broke, you just walked it off. You got blood streaming down a part of your body, but it clearly wasn't super broke. I mean, how many times did we do the last 5 miles on our bike, road rashed up a leg or elbow or arm or knee, and it was like, no, it's cool, man. I'll walk it off. It's fine. It's whatever. I'll rub dirt in it. Now it's a stop, grab Band-Aids, antiseptic, cause, wrap, total. We're going to call urgent care. Like, Jesus, it's cool. Like,
It's a hangnail. Come on.
right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's kind of the general consensus of that's something kids today will never have to experience, right? Because there's so many what I call helicopter parents nowadays, oh my God, they might get sick. Let them get a little sick once in a while. It's going to build that immune system up. Like, I'm not saying go out and get your kid like actually sick, but getting scraped up outside, eating dirt that we used to do as a kid, or jumping in creeks and rivers where we didn't get sick, but we were slowly exposed to bacteria that built an immune system, which is how some people survived COVID without a vaccine, or survived, over and over repetitions of the common flu or the common cold, where yes, we still go down with it a little bit, but we don't have it as bad as other people do because our immune system's stronger. And people kind of back in our day kind of semi-realized that a little bit. And yeah, it may not have been the best way to go about getting exposed to all the bacteria ever, but it was effective and it worked.
Yep.
And I mean, how many times did you play sports? Coach was like, "Yeah, all right, man, just walk it off. It's cool. It's mildly sprained. You're all right. Go over there, sit on the bench, kind of work that ankle a little bit. You'll be all right by the next time you get up to bat. It's all right. I'll let you sit out this inning, but you're getting back in the next one." You don't have that nowadays. Now it's, "Oh, they sprained it. Go ahead and go sit in the stands with your mom. We'll see you next game. It's okay." Like, oh my God, here we go. And it's that kind of whole toughening up era we went through that kind of seems to be lacking in kids nowadays,
It's complete opposite now.
Now complete opposite.
I don't know where we went wrong.
So my number two is that learning how to walk it off.
Yeah.
Kids nowadays just don't know everything either offends them or hurts them, or and that kind of goes with physical pain and even some of the emotional stuff. Like, we just learned how to brush some stuff off, man.
It's even invaded the fucking military. So when I went through, there was no, I think they're called red cards. These motherfuckers can hold up a card. I haven't experienced this. This is just what I'm being told. They can hold up a card if they feel anxious or uncomfortable. Like, that's not what basic is for. You're supposed to feel anxious, uncomfortable. You're supposed to feel like scum, but apparently they can now do that. So it's literally invading our military. If those things are true. Yeah.
So if they get deployed into a war zone, do you think they're going to be able to hold up a red
Exactly.
card and
That's
stop the fight?
exactly what I
Because that's
said,
not going to
yeah.
happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hate to break the
I
news
hope
to you.
I hope
but-
that I'm being fed false information, but I've heard it from multiple sources, and that's why I'm
you
like,
know, the
oh
funny
my
part
God.
is I've always joked that nowadays with the way kids are, you know, if they actually go into military and they screw up bad enough right before they die, just see them turn into the sergeant going, "It's cool, man. I'll meet you at the respawn point,"
Oh God.
because that's all they know.
Yeah.
You know, and I laugh about that. You know, I don't want to
Oh.
see anybody make a mistake where they would
Right,
die, because the worst thing you can do in the military is die in basic training, right? Like that's literally the last goal anyone wants to happen, and you have to pretty much fuck up pretty hardcore for that to happen, right? But in today's society, and like what a lot of people think war is Call of Duty. They don't
Fortnite.
They don't understand like the reality of it. And I'm sorry, man, your hurt feelings, we're going to toughen that up out of you, because once you get out there, it's going to be a lot worse. And to be able to hold up a red flag, I need a timeout.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
I remember my grandpa and other people that I've worked with in the past that were in the military were like, yeah, if you tried to ask for a timeout, you got knocked out most of the time. Like, you know, that was your timeout. You want timeout, you're going to be unconscious for it, you know? Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, that's insane, man.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
all right, man, we're slaying the number one dragon now.
We are.
It's mom's number one.
We are in that lair. So this is another one my mother has that I've already mentioned. So I'm going to have
another thing the kids never know. Just looking at someone going, your mom. Anyway, I'm sorry.
But she's got rotary phones. I do recall having rotary phones.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
she said,
yeah.
pretty sure if we still had one when you were born, but soon switched to push button. Both were plugged into a jack in the wall. She also said phone booths were 10 cents to call someone.
Wow. I think I remember a quarter.
Yeah, me quarter for me. As well.
Dude, there was
But-
something so satisfying about those rotary phones, you know? Because it was like,
Yep.
and it was always the coolest when you got a 9. And you had to wait for that thing to click all. I mean, that was 7 numbers of just, you know, and it sucked because if there was like, you know, more than one in there, you're like,
But those couldn't exist today because it would hurt kids' fingers.
oh yeah, can you see that? They rack it all the way around. There was that metal like little divot there, you know, and then you're like, you know, they would miss the coming back around. I don't know. That would be, what are you giggling about? Oh, now you getting all up in there. I see how it is. Did you ever play with the rotary phone at Linda's?
No.
I know it's there. You've seen it there. It's where you all said you've seen them at.
Nope.
Yeah. Just something about that like swashing motion when you put it down, and then the ultimate ticks
Oh wait, yeah,
as
it's
it
in the
all turned
basement.
back.
It's in the basement.
And
good
do you
place for
remember
it.
eventually that turned into a Fisher Price toy with the
Yep.
eyes on the front that would like you pulled the phone behind you and the eyes are going up and down, but it still had that that ticking and swiping noise. Yeah, that little bell, ding 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 ding. Yeah. Anyway, okay. I mean that and the bubble lawnmower.
Yep, I remember those two.
Boop,
Yep.
boop, boop, boop. Yeah. I don't know why I'm doing sound effects for this bullshit, but
Because it's an audio podcast.
you know, well, yeah, and then you know, you got me in some kind of weird nostalgic mode of bubble lawnmowers now and Fisher Price phones, and
Eyeballs.
Well,
you know,
here's some nostalgia that you're gonna not want to remember because I know it.
I swear to God, if our number one's match, it's going to be fucking.
I cringe just reading it because of so much heartbreak that it caused me. But do you remember memory cards for video games? PlayStation specifically.
Yes.
So for me, PlayStation specifically.
Uh-huh.
But my number one's not just the memory cards. My number one is a corrupted fucking memory card. Because once that happens, and who knows what causes it to happen.
All your saved memory was shot, which on a different level, the Switches now, the games can get corrupted. and you have to go through this huge long process to uncorrupt the games, and it even tells you your saved gameplay may not be there once you go through this thing, because it's like the little SD cards that you put in on a Switch now, and they can somehow get corrupted, because I had to uncorrupt like 2 of them for my daughter at one point. And it was one of those, I think it was a Zelda game she was playing. Those are longer RPG games. She's like, if it's not there, if it's not. So she got the whole a little bit of that anxiety quipping thing. But the thing is, the difference is she had a chance. If the memory cards were corrupted back then, it was just gone.
Yeah. Yep.
You had to go buy a whole other memory card and start from square one all over again. It was just done.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, good times there.
And I used to do a lot of creative player games where I would put a lot of time
hours.
in. Yeah. And one of those got corrupted. I lost all of it.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
So,
Oh.
corrupted memory cards is my number one.
So, mine, kind of almost that same fear-inducing. Some people have experienced this. Some people have not. No kid nowadays is going to experience this because everybody be too terrified to do it, right? But if you remember, you'd run around the neighborhood, hook up with all your friends in the neighborhood. Everybody would meet at somebody's house, and kids are going to do what kids are going to do. But if you screwed up enough, getting your ass whooped by somebody else, by the neighbor. Get your ass whooped, because the neighbor whooped your ass for doing some dumb shit on their property, right? Your friend's dad whooped your ass. It had to be some dumb shit. But if you earned an ass whooping from someone else's parent, you got another ass whooping when you got home for getting an ass whooping from someone else's parent, right? Yep. That was the follow-up ass whooping in case the first ass whooping wasn't good enough. But something kids today will never experience is getting their ass whooped by the neighbor for screwing up. That's phenomenal. That's crazy in my opinion, because if you didn't respect the rules of that house and you blatantly just went against them, there was going to be some consequences, and it wasn't just I'm going to call your mom. No, I'm going to whoop your ass. You need to straighten the hell up. You can be here, but you're going to do this, and this, and that's a number one thing, man. I've had my ass whooped by people that want my parents. Now I'm not going to say I didn't deserve it. Most every time, but at the same point in time, no kid today is going to experience that because everybody's so afraid. Yeah, exactly, that's a lawsuit.
I never experienced it because I was a goody two shoe. My biggest thing was I was a smart ass. So yeah, she's doing TikTok dances or something. I don't know.
It's like an Italian over here,
I
like
guess.
the whole hand and the pointed, like oh, don't make that or something.
I never experienced it, but I have seen it happen with other kids. So yeah.
Yeah. Just
And it
waiting
won't
for
happen
her to
anymore.
turn to the mic and be like, "That's a spice, meet the bottle," you know. What are you doing? You just have your arm all the way out here, just like rocking. Like, okay, all right, you know.
All right, we got a few minutes to wrap this up.
That
so
we do. We have
One
just
more.
a couple minutes.
Shadow. You can see my shadow.
one more Mary Fuck Kill, and
Okay.
then close out.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you did the last one, so right?
Yes. So,
Hypothetical?
You got a hypothetical?
We can do a hypothetical.
all right,
have
give
one?
it. Put it out there.
Okay,
Put it
so
out
if
there,
you
kid.
could be hypothetically, if you could be anyone in the entire world, have their backstory, you grew up as them, who would it be? But they grew up as you.
But they had to grow up as me.
Yes.
So I have to. I have
a question
I have to doom
answer, too.
someone to my certain parts of my background.
I forgot I have to answer the Twist the Metal question, too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
So who would you be if they had to also change places with you?
Everything, like memory, everything.
I mean, if you could trade places with anyone in the world and grow up as them, and they grow up as you, who would it be?
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake.
I get Jessica Biel, and Erica gets Justin Timberlake.
Oh,
I am
my
perfectly
God.
fine with that. So there's my answer for that one. Now I'm going to think about the Twist the Metal thing, so go on.
So for me,
Okay.
and man, if I could grow up and they had to take on my life and I got to take on their life, who would I want to be?
It's not just for the childhood, right? It's permanently. Like, just switch places permanently.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm stuck with my answer then.
Then I'm probably going to have to say Michael Jai White.
Who?
Michael Jai White.
Michael Jai White?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that is.
He is a actor, martial artist. He's been in. Did you see Spawn?
Yeah.
He played Spawn.
Like the original?
Yes,
Okay.
the movie,
Okay.
the one that had John Leguizamo in it as the clown.
Gotcha.
And he's also played in Never Back Down. He's played Bone and Blood. He's just super chill guy, black belt in like 6 martial arts. Like,
Gotcha.
I don't know. I just think he has like a fascinatingly crazy life, but is not so popular that it would be a difficult life, if that makes sense. Highly respected for what he does, but he doesn't have paparazzi following him everywhere. So I think that would be kind of like in the middle of where I'd want to be. So if I was going to say like The Rock or someone like that, I wouldn't want that much publicity following me everywhere. And I feel like Justin kind of fits in that upper echelon of stuff. He'd be recognized no matter where he went, what he did, how he did. I think Michael Jai White still kind of high end on the famous. He's recognized, but
Gotcha.
no one's chasing him down to see if something bad happened that day.
Okay. So you have a pretty thought out answer for yours. Mine is basically just so I can fuck Britney Spears and then later on in life Jessica Biel.
Wow.
All right. So now to answer the Twisted Metal question, if I won the Twisted Metal tournament and Calypso said I have one wish, my one wish would be that I'd have more time to give you a better answer, because this is 1:51 and we're about to lose this recording if I don't
Wrap it
call it a day. So that's my answer. I would wish for more time for our podcast.
Nice.
Stay tuned to the next episode where we might get the actual wish. Or not.
Am I joining next episode?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
We're done.
Bye.
Have a week.
Peace.
All right, folks, so until next time, I'm Matthew,
I'm Nathan.
and we're here reminding you to be yourself, because everyone else is taken.
So fucking inappropriate.